Welcome back to the Rodecast, guys. Hope y'all doing well out there. I'm your host, Rod, as always. And in this video, we're going to be talking about more people being federally indicted for participating in riots against ICE during certain operations. Specifically, this one was the one at the cannabis farm in Ventura County, which I covered a couple months ago, like 3 months ago at this point. But finally, the charges have been approved by grand juries and people have been charged. And there are dozens of people that they're looking for as well that they're going to talk about in this video. But before we jump into the indictment, I want to go over a hilarious story out of Chicago where Pritzker was asking for Kristi, Noem, and ICE to stop their operations through Halloween. Let the illegals trick-or-treat in peace was his message. And, well, I'll let you hear what Kristi, Noem had to say.
No child in America should have to go trick-or-treating in fear that they might be confronted with armed federal agents and have to inhale tear gas. I honestly can't even believe that I have to make this plea.
No, we're absolutely not willing to put on pause any work that we will do to keep communities safe. The fact that Governor Pritzker is asking for that is shameful, and I think unfortunate that he doesn't recognize how important the work is that we do to make sure we're bringing criminals to justice and getting them off our streets.
Meanwhile, her visit to
Yeah, so that's where Pritzker's coming from. He wants the illegals to trick-or-treat in peace. Once again, this is all emotional blackmail, okay? So this is all based on one single event where there were kids around when ICE arrested an illegal, okay, or several illegals in Chicago. I don't know why it's not even like Halloween yet, but apparently people are trick-or-treating. I have no idea what people are doing. I thought you were only supposed to do that on Halloween night, but whatever. So he's using that one event where kids happened to be around when arrests were made, and the only reason tear gas was deployed is because people started forming a crowd and trying to attack ICE agents in Chicago. That's why it was used. It's not random. They pretend like ICE agents just randomly show up and throw tear gas at people. That's not what's happening. Okay, they don't give any context. Governor Flintstone here lying through his teeth, or at least misinforming people by not presenting the entire story, pretending like ICE is randomly attacking kids. Once again, they always choose the most vulnerable groups that people feel sorry for, and they use them as a tool to protect the illegals. That's what this fatty is doing over here right now. Okay, they use elderly people, they use kids, say, oh my God, ICE is attacking kids. This is all the go-to moves for these people. They will do anything to turn America into a third world country. I don't know why they're so obsessed with doing this. I'm sure they have their reasons, but that's what they're doing. So don't fall for it. All right, now let's get to our real story.
Vehicles, damaging them and injuring.
We are dedicated to covering immigration raids and their impact on our communities. Today, that impact in Oxnard as federal investigators faced an angry crowd while serving arrest warrants.
And one person was arrested, another is still on the run. CBS LA reporter Rachel Kim tells us it's all connected to a raid that happened in July.
ICE go home! ICE go home! An early morning face.
So at this point, I'm forced to point out, because the news won't do it, these people were literally doing violent acts against ICE agents. These are the exact kind of people that these so-called peaceful protesters claim that they don't want to have anything to do with, right? They claim, oh, we're peaceful, we're not hurting anybody, and ICE shouldn't be so aggressive with us. But literally, they're here to arrest violent thugs who attacked ICE vehicles and agents and threw rocks and bottles at them at that Ventura, marijuana ICE operation, and they're still there defending the violent criminals who attacked ICE property and agents. So this is how you lose credibility as people who claim to support only peaceful, social, standing up against the ICE agents, right? Social disobedience or whatever they call it. Right. But no, they're here defending, literally standing up and protesting for criminals who did violent acts against ICE agents and property. So there you go. That's what these protesters are about.
Off between protesters and federal officers after immigration enforcement activity at this home on North A Street in Oxnard.
They left throwing bombs, pepper spray. It sounded like a war zone. I was inside the house and I still have pepper spray in my throat. This is not okay.
The U.S.
I agree, Juanita. It's not okay. But you know why they're doing that? Because people were trying to stop the ICE cars from leaving. There's a giant crowd. I just told you guys this, okay? So this is what I just said in action, where the ICE agents are trying to leave and they won't let them. On both sides of the road, they're trying to block ICE cars and regular traffic too. So that girl right there in black, she literally tried to stand in front of the car trying to block them. So what do you want them to do? They have to use dispersal methods when people won't let them do their job. That's why you're getting shot with freaking tear gas, because you're a criminal trying to stop impeding ICE agents from doing their job. They should arrest you too. You're lucky they didn't arrest you. So this is why I can't take these people seriously when they cry about their freaking, rights being violated. No rights have been violated. You're trying to stop the police from doing their job. So you got pepper sprayed or hit with some kind of smoke bomb. That's a problem for you. Based on your actions, the federal agents reacted. You're a criminal. Unfortunately, they have not arrested you yet. You can't arrest everybody, unfortunately, apparently. Okay.
They left throwing bombs, pepper spray. It sounded like a war zone. I was inside the house and I still have pepper spray in my throat. This is not.
Yeah, you should go back to Mexico and get a house. You'll be safe there. You won't have to experience any of this stuff. And how were you there in the middle of all this? Because she was out there trying to stop them too. That's the part, Dora the Explorer here won't tell you.
Okay.
The U.S. Attorney's Office says Homeland Security agents executed a search warrant there and tried to arrest 2 people charged with conspiracy to impede or injure a federal officer during the Glass House Farms enforcement operation in Camarillo in July. Authorities say the 2 are active members of VC Defensa, a Ventura County-based rapid response network.
One of the suspects.
Basically domestic terrorists at this point. That's what this one is. Okay. They're just attacking federal agents who are trying to do their job. They want the illegals to stay here. And of course, it's Adora, double chin and disgusting as always. And they're physically attacking ICE agents, throwing rocks and bottles at them, trying to prevent them from arresting people who have broken into our country illegally. They have no respect for our federal law. They want open borders so that the rest of our family from Mexico can invade our country and take over. Literally, that's what in practicality, that is what their ideology will lead to. And, they don't deny it necessarily.
County-based rapid response network.
One of the suspects, Isai Carrillo, was arrested at the scene as he attempted to flee from law enforcement. The other suspect, Virginia Reyes, fled prior to the execution of the search warrant, and she is to be considered a fugitive.
Special Agent in Charge Wong says Carrillo threw rocks at government vehicles, damaging them and injuring a federal contract employee. Reyes is accused of ambushing and blocking government vehicles from leaving.
As long as we're here, we're going to keep doing this work. There's nothing that's going to be able to make us back down.
Leonardo Martinez.
If we put your asses in prison, then we will stop you. If we put you in prison, then you won't be able to do something. And that's exactly what the feds are doing. We're going to put every single one of you who commit violence and try to impede officers in prison. So your taco eating ass will be stopped because we're going to stop you. So get ready.
Is a volunteer with VC Defensa. The group posted on social media that the federal government statement about VC Defensa is completely false and that this is a part of a witch hunt against anyone who speaks out against ICE.
Yeah, where in the First Amendment does it say you can throw bottles at federal agents? Show me that one, Juan. When you do, then your statement here will be accurate. Until then, it's not accurate. What the government said about you is 100% correct. They actually didn't go far enough. They should have called you a domestic terrorist organization, which in my opinion is what you are. So give me a break. First Amendment, please, man.
Speaks out against ICE.
There was a massive show of force on their behalf because we've been so effective at jamming them up the last few months.
So Martin,
did you hear what he just said? He said jamming them up, which means he just literally admitted to obstructing and impeding federal agents, which is the definition of a violation of 18 U.S. Code 111, impeding agents from doing their job. He just said we jammed them up. So he knows exactly what they're doing and he just confessed. Okay.
Behalf because we've been so effective at jamming them up the last few months.
So Martinez said early Wednesday morning, 4 men were taken from the house where an elderly woman and children also live. The Department of Homeland Security has not
once again using elderly and the young to try to emotionally blackmail people, saying that they mentioned that just in in a related manner, just to make the ICE ICE agents look bad, make it look like, oh, they're attacking in some way, and indirectly they're attacking the old and the young. That's what she just did there. This is the kind of emotional manipulation that these horrible people do on white people, on unsuspecting white people who get tricked by this stuff all the time.
4 men were taken from the house where an elderly woman and children also live. The department
Also lived. Nothing happened to them, but they happened to be there, so they mention it to try to make the ICE agents look bad. Do you see what they do? It's disgusting, man. Disgusting.
Wednesday
They
morning.
will do anything to protect their beloved illegals.
4 men were taken from the house where an elderly woman and children also live. The Department of Homeland Security has not confirmed that number.
The 4 men were not, to our knowledge, have a criminal record or anything like that.
Right now,
Yeah, when they attack federal agents, they're going to have a criminal record. After they're prosecuted, they will be criminals. So don't worry, Juan. We'll get all of them.
residents are also concerned for those left behind.
I saw a boy, a 16-year-old boy coming out of the house, and he lived in the house, and he said that his parents had been taken. He does not have family. He was left with a neighbor.
Rachel Kim, CBS LA.
So the 16-year-old boy's parents should have thought about that before they broke the law. So this is once again crying and whining that criminals got arrested and the criminal spawns were left behind. That's what she just said. And she wants us to feel something for these people because they're criminal. They shouldn't even be in our country, but we're supposed to feel bad for their spawns. The unreasonableness of these people's expectations is immeasurable to me. Immeasurable. And I don't feel bad at all. I don't give a damn about that 16-year-old. Hope they deport him back to Mexico somehow, along with his parents. And they can, by the way. He can go back. Nobody's stopping you from going there yourself. Self-deportation is completely legal. Hopping the border, not so much, but self-deportation, yeah, that's legal. So he can get his ass back to Mexico if he's so sad.
Rachel Kim, CBS LA.
Federal investigators searching for more than 24 suspects accused of attacking agents during immigration protests.
Our Jeff Noem reports the manhunt involves suspects who set Waymos on fire and threw scooters at CHP officers.
Nothing will stop us. Nothing.
Acting U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley, along with the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security, promising to track down more than 24 people in 3 cases of unrest over the summer during protests against immigration operations. High on the list, this young man captured on camera pointing a gun at federal officers in Camarillo. Here are some up-close photos of him.
The FBI is offering a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to the identification of the subject to my left.
On top of that, $10,000 rewards are being offered for information leading to the arrest of 20 people seen on camera throwing firebombs and e-scooters onto CHP cars under an overpass on the 101 on June 8th.
So these have to do with the first round of basically close to terrorism, what happened in my city in Los Angeles, where the police were attacked, regular people were attacked. They basically took over the streets, blocked the freeways. You probably remember this. This was a while ago, but I remember this. Okay. Like people were, some of my colleagues where I work were affected. Their traffic was affected. It was horrible on the freeway because they're literally blocking certain freeways in Los Angeles. So that's what this is. So there's multiple events they're talking about here. That we got the Camarillo farm raid, and then we got this protest that happened earlier where they tried to burn parts of Los Angeles to the ground. That's what these particular people are related to. They're still hunting for them. The indictments have to do with people at that Camarillo, Ventura County farm where there was a raid and people were attacking ICE agents. So there's two different things going on here.
Man is accused of breaking the concrete from the sidewalk and throwing it onto the freeway, while this man is captured on camera with his hands full.
9 of the defendants charged in that second criminal complaint were filmed on cell phones by local news and other media, throwing rocks, bottles, and objects.
Investigators are also looking for 8 people who attacked and destroyed Waymo cars. This man is photographed sitting on top of the robotaxi as it burned. Most of the suspects wore masks, but this woman was captured on camera with just sunglasses. $10,000 rewards are being offered in this case as well.
While the First Amendment protects the freedom of speech and the freedom to peacefully assemble, it does not provide for a right to assault federal officers.
Constitutional law professor Jessica Levinson says federal investigators are drawing a line between free speech and violence in these cases.
The First Amendment is very protective of protests, particularly political protests, but that protection is not absolute if your actions change and they cross a line into doing things that are alleged here.
To get a good look at the more than 24 suspects investigators want to find, go to our website, cbsla.com, and click on Seen on TV. If you have information on any of them, the FBI would like to hear from you. In downtown LA, Jeff Nguyen, CBS LA.
Bill Asaley responded to a question from our Jeff.
All right, so that's about it. The rest of the video is not related to the arrest. So this is great news that they're actually going after these people. And what the professor said is literally what I've said for like 1,000 times on my channel at this point. The First Amendment does not protect people doing stuff like this. So we just saw a video of people on top of a freaking car. This is what happened at that Camarillo protest, or riot, I should say. It was a half riot, half protest, because there are people who are protesting peacefully on some parts here, and then the people in the front were attacking ICE agents. Those are the people who've been charged. What that woman is doing, hanging onto that car, that's obstruction of federal agents doing their job. That's impediment. Okay, that's a violation of 18 U.S. Code 111. Clear as day. She would be literally convicted at a trial if there was one, because she's on camera committing a crime. Okay. And then there are also people throwing stuff at police vehicles. Also crimes. This guy just threw that giant freaking slab of metal from like a stop sign or something into this police vehicle. That is damaging a property of the police. Okay. That would be a local charge because that's a police car, not necessarily a federal vehicle, but it depends. So it depends on the nature of the crime, what you damage, where you are, things like that. But the point is, what he did, what all these people are doing, throwing scooters at police cars, those are all crimes. And there are people pretending on the left that there were no crimes committed in these protests / riots, because there's two things happening. There's people protesting, and then there's people committing violence also. So that's rioting. That's not protesting. Protesting is legal. Rioting is not legal. It is a crime, literally. And these people damaged property while they were rioting. That's why they've been indicted. Just in case anybody's unclear about this, okay? Protesting is protected. Rioting is not protected under the First Amendment. And that is the simplest bottom line that I can give for a video. And that's all I got to say for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. As always, stay safe out there.